Hello, this is Matthias for mamoworld.com and welcome to the After Effects tutorial about the walk cycle iExpression. The idea of the walk cycle iExpression is that you just need to animate the position of a character, and the iExpression animates the feet, hands and the body automatically such that the character is walking. In order to use the walk cycle iExpression, all you need is a character that is rigged with inverse kinematics such that you can animate it by moving 5 layers. 2 layers to move the feet, 2 layers to move the hands, if the hands should swing and sync with the legs, and 1 layer to move the body. This will make the body move up and down a little while the character is walking. In addition, you need 1 master layer that all the others are parented to, such that if you move the master, the entire puppet follows. Also, you need a ground layer. You can also use a null for this if the ground should be invisible. The expression then works such that you only keyframe the position of the master layer manually, or the ground, and the iExpression animates the other 5 control layers automatically accordingly to generate the walk cycle. For the walk cycle iExpression, it does not matter how exactly you create such a character rig. As long as you have these layers that the expression can move, it does not care about the details of the rig. The first part of our character animation tutorial series shows you how to do this with iExpressions. But also, if your character rig is not created with iExpression, the walk cycle iExpression will be able to move your character. Once you have such a character rig, using the walk cycle is pretty easy. First, we bring the character into a neutral pose with arms and legs pointing straight down. Then we just tell the expression the names of our layers. Foot left goal, foot right goal, hand left goal, hand right goal, body goal, and ground. Then we choose the style of walking, namely walking or running, and apply the expression to the 5 layers that it should move, namely to the foot goals, hand goals, and the body. If you don't want the expression to move the hands or the body, you can also just apply it to the feet, for example. Now that we have applied it, you can simply keyframe the position of the character with the master layer, and as you can see, he starts walking. Depending on the size of our character, he may do huge or very tiny steps now. We can adjust this using the scale parameter here. Currently, the steps are pretty big and the hands move a lot. Let's scale everything down to 20%. Now we reapply it again, and the character makes tiny steps when he is walking now. If we set the feet and body to 40%, but set the arms to 120%, he makes normal size steps, but swings the arms a lot. If we also increase only the Y scale, but not the X scale of the feet, to say 120, he raises the feet a lot during walking. You can still fine-tune the position of the control layers if needed. Here we can raise the body a little, for example, to get this result. But now let's get back to a more normal walking style and set everything to 40%. If we now choose running instead of walking and reapply the expression, it looks like this. Maybe we want to move the arms a bit to the front to make this even look better. As you can see, with the scale parameters, the walking style, and manually adjusting the position of the control layers, you can already create a big variety of walk styles. To animate the character, instead of keyframing the position of its master layer, we can also keyframe the position of the ground layer. Let's add 2 keyframes here and also add some easing. As you can see, the character now walks as if he is on a conveyor belt. If you want to use your own custom walk cycle loops, this is also possible. All you need is a duplicate of your character in a separate composition that contains some kind of keyframed loop. As an example, for this character we have keyframed this limping walk cycle. To use it, in the iExpression we first need to set some general properties of the walk cycle. We enable the custom walk cycle and tell the iExpression that the walk cycle starts at frame 0 and ends at frame 32 in our case. The iExpression also needs to know how many pixels the character walked during this one cycle to ensure that it is later not performing a moonwalk. At the first frame, our ground is at x equals 1920, and at the last frame at x equals 1600. Hence, the walking distance is 1920 minus 1600, which is 320. To calculate this, you can also simply enter 1920 minus 1600 in the iExpressions parameter, since each iExpressions parameter has a pocket calculator built in that will calculate the result for you. Now, we link the position and rotation of our keyframe properties to the respective parameters in the iExpression. This will link our character rig dynamically to the keyframed walk cycle, and whenever you change a keyframe later, the iExpression will automatically update accordingly. If you only keyframe the position and not the rotation of your control layers, it's also good enough to just link here the positions. Also, if your character has no arms, for example, you can simply skip linking the arms here. Now, when everything is linked, we can go back to our main composition. Now we set our scaling parameters to 100% and apply the iExpression. As before, we apply it to all layers that should be moved by the iExpression, hence the body, the hand goals, and the feet goals. We move the character in place, and as you can see, he is limping somehow, but it does not exactly as our original walk cycle. The reason for this is that by default the iExpression is only applied to the position of the layers and not to the rotation. This is because for most walk cycles you only need the position and everything renders a bit faster if we skip the rotation. However, this walk cycle also contains keyframes on the rotation. Hence we select position and rotation of the layers explicitly and apply it again. Now you can see that the body rotates and the animation looks much better. The last little feature that I want to explain you is the use keyframe value as offset parameter. Let's enable this one and apply the iExpression again. As you can see, the character looks very strange now. This is because when we want to use this option, we need to set the keyframe values of all the goal layers that we applied the iExpression to 0. Let's do this right now. Now you can see that the character is looking normal again. Since we have now the use keyframe value as offset option enabled, we can refine individual steps of our walk cycle with keyframes that act on top of the iExpression. Let's say for this step we want him to raise the leg much more than usual. Hence, we just add a few keyframes and move the leg manually. As you can see, the character now walks as usual, but at the point where we inserted our keyframes, the walk cycle adjusts accordingly. Also note that you only need the use keyframe value as offset parameter if you use your own custom walk cycle. For the standard built-in walk cycles, this is automatically enabled and you always can easily add your own keyframes as you need. Okay, that's the end of our tutorial about the walk cycle iExpression. You learned how easy it is to create a fully automatic walk cycle for your character, and that you can even define your own custom walk cycles if needed. For a more in-depth example of a character rig with walk cycle, see our character animation tutorial series with Eric. Again, this is Matthias for mamoworld.com, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next tutorial.